Welcome to Infectious Diseases TV. We share useful information about infectious diseases.
Have you ever wondered what makes some diseases just explode through a population, spreading like absolute wildfire, while others are actually pretty hard to catch? Well, today, we're going to figure that out.
So to figure out how contagious something is, scientists have this really cool metric. It's called the basic reproduction number, or R0, often written as R0.
Okay, let's break this down. Think of R0 as a disease's power score. It's pretty simple, really. If a disease has an R0 of 1, it means one sick person will, on average, infect one other person. An R0 of 5, that one person infects 5 others. So you can see, the higher that number, the faster and wider a disease is going to spread. It's basically our ultimate contagion scale.
All right, now for the main event. Let's meet the reigning champions. Which diseases have the highest R0 values ever recorded? Get ready, because these numbers might just shock you.
Whoa, just look at that number. 12 to 18. That means a single sick person could walk into a room and infect up to 18 other people. An entire classroom, basically. So, what disease holds the crown for being the most infectious one we know of?
It's measles, the undisputed champion. And what's so wild about measles is why it's so good at spreading. It's not just about droplets from a cough. It's truly airborne. The virus can literally just hang out in the air, infectious, for up to 2 hours after someone sick has left the room. It's like leaving an invisible trap behind, just an incredibly efficient way to find its next victim.
Now, measles isn't completely alone at the top of the charts. Right on its heels, you've got pertussis, you probably know it as whooping cough, with an R0 of 12 to 17. And then chickenpox, clocking in at 10 to 12. You starting to see a pattern here? The most contagious diseases known to humanity are all preventable by vaccine. That's absolutely crucial.
In this picture, it perfectly illustrates one of the reasons chickenpox is such an effective spreader. Each one of those little blisters is just packed with a live virus. So, on top of being airborne, it can also spread through direct contact with that rash. That makes it a serious dual threat, especially for kids.
And pertussis, its nickname whooping cough, comes from this truly terrifying sound. Patients, and especially young kids, have these violent, uncontrollable coughing fits where they just can't breathe in. And that whoop sound, that's them desperately trying to gasp for air after a coughing spell. It is a really brutal disease.
So those are the established champs, right? But here's the thing. Diseases evolve. Their R0 can change. And we all got a front row seat to see that happen with a very recent challenger, COVID-19.
You know, when COVID-19 first showed up, the original strain had an R0 of about 3, which is contagious, don't get me wrong, but it's not even close to measles. But then it evolved. The Omicron variant burst onto the scene with an estimated R0 of 9, maybe even higher. All of a sudden, it was playing in the same league as chickenpox.
So how in the world did it get so much more infectious so fast? Well, it was kind of a perfect storm. 3 big reasons. First, the virus itself just got better at transmitting. Second, the incubation period got way shorter, down to just 2 or 3 days, which means people got infectious much faster. And third, and this is a big one, it could be spread by people who had no symptoms at all. A recipe for rapid global spread.
Okay, seeing these incredibly high numbers can feel a little overwhelming, right? But the story doesn't end with the disease. It ends with our defense. So, how do we actually fight back against these masters of transmission?
For many of these diseases, the answer is crystal clear, and it's backed by decades of science: vaccines. They are our #1 weapon, because they don't just treat a disease after you get it, they prevent it from ever taking hold. A vaccine is basically a training manual for your immune system, teaching it to recognize and wipe out an invader on sight.
I mean, the difference here is just night and day. In a population with no protection, a disease like measles will just tear right through it. But if you get vaccination rates up over 95%, you create something called herd immunity. It's like building an invisible wall. The virus tries to spread, but it just keeps hitting dead ends. It can't find a new person to infect, and the outbreak just fizzles out.
So, the takeaway for protecting ourselves and everyone around us is actually pretty straightforward. First and foremost, get vaccinated. Follow the recommended schedules. Second, practice good hygiene. Simple things like washing your hands and covering your coughs make a huge difference. And third, if you are sick, please stay home. It's a simple act of kindness that stops the chain of transmission right in its tracks.
You know, understanding a number like R0 isn't just some academic exercise. It's about knowing your enemy. It gives us the power to predict, to prepare for, and most importantly, to prevent future outbreaks. Knowing the science of how things spread really is the key to our collective health. This is Infectious Diseases TV. Please like and subscribe.